Alright, so here's the thing. The UFC is known for discipline, rules, and professionalism. But sometimes, just sometimes, things get a little, out of hand. You know what I mean? Fights that were supposed to end in the cage didn't. So, today, we're diving into the top 10 UFC fights that turned into actual street fights. Yeah, chaos outside the Octagon, let's go. 1. Khabib versus McGregor, UFC 2/29. So, everybody remembers this one, right? I mean, this wasn't just a fight. This was war. Khabib dominates McGregor in the cage. But when it's over, nah. Khabib jumps the cage like literally flies into the crowd, straight at Dylan Dennis. Then McGregor swings on Khabib's teammates inside the cage. It's like total madness. Security, cops, suspensions. Dana's face said it all. This was the closest thing the UFC's ever had to a full-on riot. 2. Jorge Masvidal versus Leon Edwards, the three-piece and a soda incident. So, this wasn't even in the cage. After Masvidal wins his fight, he's doing an interview backstage, and Leon Edwards says something. We don't even hear it clearly, but boom. Masvidal walks up mid-interview, hits him with that famous combo, three-piece and a soda. No gloves, no warning, just hands. The moment went viral instantly. 3. Nate Diaz versus Jason Miller, Strikeforce brawl. Okay, so this was before Nate was Nate Diaz. It was in Strikeforce. Jake Shields had just beaten Dan Henderson. Suddenly, Jason Mayhem Miller storms into the cage with a mic like, "Where's my rematch?"
He beat the crap out of the worst I've ever been beat that first round.
What's up? Where's my rematch, buddy?
Before you know it, boom! The entire Diaz camp jumps him, kicks, punches, chaos. You had security dragging people apart like it's some WWE segment. Why?
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
You got jumped.
Oh my.
Buddy, and then it was just a nightmare.
Oh my
and
God.
if you notice right there, I double-leg Nate. I double-leg Nate because I know when you're getting jumped, you got to get somebody on the ground. So
4. Nick Diaz versus Joe Riggs, post-fight at the hospital. Okay, this one's crazy. So, Nick Diaz and Joe Riggs fought at UFC 57. Riggs wins the decision, right? But after the fight, they're both taken to the same hospital. And what do they do there? Fight again. Yeah, literally in the hospital. Diaz said it started with a stare. Then it escalated. Who wins? Nobody knows. But it's one of those stories that makes you go, wait, what?
2 months, he was on a stretcher and he was just like,
and I was like, ha, that was a good burn.
When Joe suggests Nick will be demoted to a lower tier fight promotion, it's like the bell goes off for another round.
I kind of turn around, I hear like the clip clop of feet.
boom, and I
5. John Jones versus Daniel Cormier, MGM lobby fight. So DC and Jones always hated each other, right? But this one, it wasn't during a fight. It was at a press event. Jones puts his forehead on DC's. DC shoves him, and then, boom! Jones throws a punch, and chaos explodes. Security, UFC banners falling down, fans screaming. It was like a bar fight broke out at a photo shoot. Classic. 6. Israel Adesanya versus Drakkar du Plessis, UFC 290 cage scuffle. This one's recent and honestly pretty intense. Du Plessis knocks out Whitaker, then Izzy storms the cage during the post-fight interview.
We're fine. Relax. Let's go. Yeah, what's up? Get
Shirt off, screaming in his face, cussing. I mean, it was uncomfortable. Security steps in before it gets physical, but you could feel it. That tension, street fight energy for sure. 7. BJ Penn, street fight in Hawaii. So, this wasn't UFC sanctioned at all, but it's BJ Penn, so we gotta mention it. BJ was caught on camera getting into a fight outside a bar in Hawaii. And it wasn't like a one-hit thing. We're talking full-on brawl. It ended with BJ unconscious on the pavement. Yeah, kinda hard to watch. 8. Jeremy Stephens versus Drakkar Klose. Shove heard around the world. So this fight never even happened. At the weigh-ins, Stephens shoves Klose so hard that Klose suffers a whiplash injury and the bout is canceled. The bad blood was real, and it looked like they were ready to fight in the parking lot if they had to. 9. Shawn Strickland, sparring gone wild now. Shawn Strickland's entire gym life is basically street fights with gloves. From sucker-punching sparring partners to head kick knockouts during what's supposed to be light work. The dude doesn't know how to chill. You've probably seen the viral clips. It's not just training, it's personal. 9. Anderson Silva versus Chael Sonnen. Nearly came to blows in Brazil, 2013. UFC event in Brazil, media event. Sonnen trash-talked Brazil. Silva had enough and got in his face at a UFC media event. Security had to separate them. Repercussions, just more hype for their rematch, but the tension was very real.
Tonight, Anderson Silva, you absolutely suck.
10. Diaz brothers versus Team Kabib, UFC 239. All right, this one flew under the radar a bit. At UFC 239, Nate and Nick Diaz almost got into it with Khabib's team cage side. There's videos showing both crews standing up, yelling, security moving in real quick. It didn't escalate to fists, but it was seconds away from being a full brawl. Just imagine if that one broke out. So, yeah. While the UFC is about controlled violence inside the cage, sometimes those emotions just boil over. And when they do, you get moments that feel less like MMA and more like a street fight. Which one shocked you the most? Or did we miss one? Drop it in the comments and, subscribe for more madness.